Before our kickoff right now, Tennessee, Miami, and Buffalo have the top 3 spots. Seattle in a spiral, so is New England. Take a look at the NFC. Detroit, Green Bay, and Minnesota. The Giants at 7-7. Dallas at 7-7 in the NFC East. Arizona can go to 7-7 with a win tonight. And believe it or not, Arizona still has a shot at the NFC East title.
Now, does that say that they're really good or that the NFC East is really bad?
I think it's the latter. Vince Tobin, in his 4th year, he guided this club to the playoffs last year, a historic occasion for the Cardinals. Chris Jackie to kick. Kevin Williams, the deep man, across the 20, 30, and out of bounds at the 33. Buffalo's offense has Doug Flutie at quarterback. His numbers aren't as lofty as a year ago, but he still has them on the verge of the playoffs. Linton and Gash behind Flutie. Eric Moulds is his playmaker, averaging over 16 yards a catch. Reed and the tight end Remersma. Up front, Fina, 6-year veteran Reuben Brown, who has made the last 3 Pro Bowls, Ostrowski, Ziegler, and Spriggs. And now Thurman Thomas comes out on the field. Shotgun on first down. A flag is down, and the pass is intended for Bobby Collins, one of the backup tight ends.
Well, so much for the running game.
Johnny Greer, our referee tonight, one of the fine officials in the NFL. Really like the way he controls a ball game.
Offside, 57, defense, still first down.
The Cardinals' defensive line, injury-riddled, has Burke, Swinger, Drake, and Simeon Rice. Number 2 in the NFL with 13.5 sacks. The rest in a moment. Flutie wants to change the play. Linton is the deep man in the eye. Linton will get the call. Nowhere to go. The rest of that Cardinal defense at linebacker, Fredrickson, Ron McKinnon, excellent in coverage and leads the team in tackles. And Sapp, the secondary, led by All-Pro Aeneas Williams, who has been to 5 straight Pro Bowls. Knight, Bennett, and Lassiter. Rice with 13.5 sacks, number 2 in the league. No Cardinal has ever led the NFL in that department.
How do you like this stance, folks?
He says it's just like track. He wants to be the first guy out of the blocks. Hand off to Thurman Thomas. Stopped shy of the 40. They need to reach the 43 for a first down.
Dave McGinnis, the defensive coordinator of the Arizona Cardinals. And really, the defense has carried this football team all year. They've struggled on offense. They've not been able to get any kind of rhythm. And it's plays like Simeon Rice has been making with the sacks, and Aeneas Williams taking on the most potent receiver that an offense has. But the guys in the middle are the ones that are going to have to make it happen tonight.
And they're missing 3 of their 4 starters on the defensive line. What would have been a dominant defensive line. Bad snap. Flutie comes up with it. And throws to Remersma. He has it in Cardinal territory.
You know, we were talking to Flutie about Remersma yesterday, and he said he really hasn't worked much this week. He just took his time, took it easy because he was injured. He said, but this guy means so much to me going down the middle. First of all, the defensive back falls down, and when the back falls down, Remersma's wide open.
Paul, that's J.J. McCleskey. A little bit of a mismatch anyway. You got a 6'5" tight end, a 5'8" guy trying to cover.
The Bills convert their first third down. Flutie to throw. Andre Reed runs overnight inside the 20.
I got to believe that this is a makeup game for Doug Flutie. He knows that he played so poorly last week against the Giants. And he told us when we sat down, I just didn't play well. It was one of those days. And Doug is the type of a guy that if he plays bad one week, I guarantee you he's refocused, come out and made some good decisions with the football so far.
An impressive drive so far for Buffalo. Linton cuts it back and near the 15. Antoine Smith, as Solomon Wilcott's pointed out with a turf toe injury, so Linton becomes the featured tailback behind Sam Gash. Thurman Thomas will also run from that slot tonight.
Well, one of the reasons Linton's there and Antoine is not active is, you know, he played in a few games. He runs a couple of plays, Mike, and then he comes out. They said they wanted some consistency, so what they did is they put him down this week and put Jonathan Linton in there all week long.
2nd and 7 for Flutie. 4-man rush with time. Moles, touchdown. A perfect opening drive for Doug Flutie and the Bills offense.
Wade Phillips was absolutely right when he said this offense is pretty good. And we saw the way Doug Flutie operates. He spreads them out. He's got Moles in the slot. And really, there hasn't been a cardinal touch. One of those receivers off the line in that entire drive.
Christie for the point after. And the Bills making an early statement. They're up 7-0 in the desert. Headshots provided by the Southwest Airlines Aerial Cam high above Sun Devil Stadium for ESPN's Sunday Night Football. The Bills took 3 minutes and 24 seconds. And Eric Moles made the touchdown catch from Flutie, who was 3 for 3 on the drive. Christie will kick to Mario Bates, who waits at his 2-yard line. That's Bates, 4th in the NFL in kick returns this year. Better than 25 a shot. Bates from the 8. And across the 25. Joe, that touchdown, that was too easy.
It really was too simple, Mike. And really, the defensive structure is the problem. That's Moles in the slot up here. You see our little red dot. That's the linebacker. That's the safety. What the linebacker's got to do is come up and jam him. He can't let him run the free release and wind up going down the middle of the football field untouched. He literally doesn't get touched by a Cardinal till he gets hit at the 2-yard line, leaping into the end zone. If you're going to put a slot or somebody on him, get on his nose.
Adrian Morrell will gain about 6. Arizona's offense run by Jake Plummer. He's had a poor year, 35th and last in the quarterback rankings, 18 interceptions, only 6 touchdown passes. The backs, Morrell and Makovica, the receivers, Moore and Frank Sanders, who leads the club with 56 catches, and Hardy, the tight end. The offensive line almost totally reworked because of injuries. Joyce, Dexter, Graham, Dishman, and Clement. Morrell on the delay. Only a yard this time. For the Bills defense, the front line has Hanson, Ted Washington in much better shape this season and having a big year, and Smith. Very good linebackers. Rogers, Holosek, Sam Cowart. So good they changed the defense to get him on the field, and Northern. The secondary has Irvin and Smith at the corners, Jones at one safety, Kurt Schultz at the other. Schultz, their leading interceptor. Bruce Smith's second all-time only to Reggie White in sacks. He has 169, 5 of them this year. 3rd down for Plummer. That was intended for Sanders, but he stumbled coming out of his break and the pass whistle over his head.
We asked Bruce Smith yesterday about playing. He said, well, I had a sore shoulder, but when I saw this offensive line, it was all makeshift offensive line. He said, I had to play.
Shoulder got better immediately.
Yeah.
Scott Player on to punt as Arizona goes 3 and out. Kevin Williams waits at his 20. Exactly the kind of start the Cardinals offense did not need. Fair catch signaled and made at the 28-yard line. Punt of 39 and no return. The Bills will have the ball again when we come back. Had been able to play the last couple of ball games and play well in the relief. Flutie dumps this one off, and Sam Gash will take it out near the 35.
Mike, the most important thing for the Cardinals tonight is they wanted to control Doug Flutie, and what they're doing is they're only bringing the ends up the field so far. They want to keep him in the well. They feel like if he has to throw the football from that pocket, they can keep him. The problem is they're going to have to get on the tight end. They can't open up the middle of the football field like this, or he'll be there all day picking them apart.
Thurman Thomas is the single setback. Thomas gets the carries against the run blitz, and McKinnon right in the hole takes him down at the 35.
Well, this is one of the things you're going to have to sacrifice. If you're going to let him stand back there, Doug Flutie, in that pocket, you're going to have to send some people. That time they had a blitz on. Ron McKinnon is number 57. Watch this. He comes out and then goes up into the hole. He meets Thurman Thomas there. No yardage. Well, actually, he picked up a yard.
McKinnon won the Harlan Hill Award in Division II. That's the equivalent of the Heisman Trophy at North Alabama. The first defensive player ever to win it. Another blitz to toss to Thurman Thomas. He only gets a couple. That'll be a yard shy of a first down.
That's a nice job by the Cardinal defense. The Bills try to outflank him with the two receivers set up there, and then they bring the tight end over. But good penetration and good pursuit stops him from getting the first down.
The punting team comes on, and they may measure.
No.
He looked a full yard shy.
Officials timeout for measurement.
Less than that, but still fourth down.
Well, you've had a cold.
Yes.
What does that have to do with anything?
Just bailing
when
me
you
out.
have a cold, you can't see as far.
That's understandable. Your eyes get cloudy, right?
From this booth, we can barely see the field anyway.
It's in front of us. We know that.
You know what's really strange is when planes fly under you.
And the pilots wave at you?
That's how high we are.
Matt Cody waits for the punt. Chris Moore will kick, just having a terrible season, averaging only 39.3 a kick. And the net is under 35. High and short. Cody across the 30, breaks the tackle to the 45-yard line. A 19-yard return after a punt of 38. Excellent field position for the Cardinals. Just ranked 30th in the NFL, but in the second half against the Redskins last week, they should have been somewhere around 38. 3 first downs, 3 yards rushing, 33 passing. They had only 11 plays on offense.
And couple that with only scoring 19 points in the first quarter. Doesn't leave a lot of room for error.
Morrell picks up about 5.
Mark Trestman, their offensive coordinator, had a chance to visit with him this week. And you know, he's got Jake Plummer. He's trying to get Jake comfortable in this offense. And last week against the Redskins, he had 3 or 4 plays where there were opportunities for Jake to get the ball down the field, get it to Rob Moore. And he's just rushing things. He's not as comfortable, he's not as patient as he was last year in the pocket.
Plummer the quick out. Hardy, the tight end, juggling at the sideline, but he made the catch. Here's Jake Plummer on how last week's dreadful performance had affected him.
It wasn't, the lowest point of my life. But as far as football and, being just frustrated at what was going on and how I performed personally and how the team performed and just the whole day, was a pretty low point. What made it even worse was that it was a very big game, a very big game that could help us control our destiny.
Plummer throws too high for Sanders. He couldn't hold it.
And it's plays like that I'm talking about. Sanders is open in the middle, and Jake tries to gun this thing in. This ball has no touch on it. I want you to watch how hurried he is and how rushed he looks. Nobody's hurrying him, no problem. Throws it, He gets hit a little bit, but still, the ball is delivered before he gets hit by the defender. And it should be a much more accurate throw. He seems a bit rushed still.
Player to punt to Williams. Williams lets it go, and it makes the end zone. 49-yard kick, but a net of only 29. And the Bills will have it at the 20 when we come back.
今回のゲームはアリゾナのホームゲームですので、なんとか追いつき追い越せを期待するお客さんでいっぱいのサンデビルスタジアムなんですが。
Bills lead at 7-0. The game plan coming in for Buffalo was to run the ball, Paul. So far, it's been the Doug Flutie show.
Well, he's 4 for 4 for 65 yards, and here's why. He spreads the defense out. First one down the middle to Reamersma. Then he was looking at Moles on the left, and he doesn't see him, so it goes back to Andre Reed, 83, on the right-hand side. And then here's the touchdown to Moles. But you can see the lanes that he can throw in, and by getting those lanes, he spreads the defense out.
Bills start from their own 20. Flutie to throw again. Too high for Reamersma.
It's funny how we study quarterbacks and we analyze every throw. Throws get away from guys. You know, I mean, you're not going to go 21 for 21 or 25 for 25 in a game. There's a case ball just sailed out a little bit high and gone.
So one thing they're doing, though, on Simeon Rice, they've got Fina on him, but if Reuben Brown is uncovered, he comes out to help.
Thurman Thomas, number 34, checks in. Blitz coming. Thurman on the delay. And the blitzing linebacker, Rob Fredrickson, peeled back to make the tackle.
Boy, did they do this nice. They had Simeon Rice on the outside shoulder of John Fina, number 70. And they take him out. He actually holds Fina. And then Fredrickson comes inside. He almost overruns the play. Watch this. You see Simeon Rice, 70, 97? He just stands right there. Fina doesn't make the block. Fredrickson makes the tackle.
3rd and 10. Flutie scrambles across the 30. Ball came loose, but they will say he is down. And if it's spotted across the 30, it is a first down. Aeneas Williams tackled it.
That is the dimension that Vince Tobin was concerned with. When you take a look at the way they try and rush him, I mean, you have to be so disciplined. But not only that, you have to keep an eye on him. When they rush, they want to rush in straight lines, right up here. Doug Flutie manages to step up, make the play, and then pick up the first down. Offensive line does a good job of staying with everybody. Nice switch on the twist, and then Doug knows exactly where to go for the first down.
He's rushed for over 400 yards this year for quarterbacks. That's number 1 in the NFL. Moles can't handle it. Kwame Lassiter with the coverage, but Flutie put it right there.
Yeah, but I think Moles saw McKinnon, number 57, the linebacker, coming out. They had another blitz on the right-hand side, the left-hand side of the offense, and then McKinnon, number 57. Watch this. He almost gets the ball. He doesn't see, Flutie doesn't see him. McKinnon, if he's looking at the ball, he might have had a shot at it, but I think Moles was looking at him.
2nd and 10. Linton is back in as the deep man in the eye. Play action by Flutie. This one is complete up to the 36-yard line. Andre Reed with his 2nd catch of the night. McKinnon makes the tackle. Reed only needs 6 more catches to pass Art Monk to become number 2 all-time in NFL catches. He came into the game needing only 60 yards to pass Steve Largent for number 4 all-time in yards.
I'll tell you, there's a guy I've known since the day he came to Buffalo. And there aren't many people in the National Football League that work harder than Andre Reed.
He can still catch. He still runs great patterns. Flutie Nice toss outside. He's got the first down to Kevin Williams. He put so much pressure on the defense.
And when you run a little play action fake inside, it just holds the linebackers long enough. It gets Doug to the edge and he can dump it off. Right now, Joe Pendry, the offensive coordinator, I would think would have to think about throwing the ball up top. Everything has been little slants, little crosses in the middle. Here you get an opportunity. You run a little play action fake. You take a shot with Eric Moulds down the field on Aeneas Williams.
Another first down for Buffalo.
Peerless Price just came in the game.
He'll come to the near side. Play action again by Flutie. Peerless Price. Tom Knight took him out of bounds, but it's a gain of 22.
They run Peerless Price across the field, and no one even looked at him. They're all looking at Eric Moulds.
Exactly. Eric Moulds takes off running down the field.
He goes down the field. Peerless Price lines up on the left-hand side of the offense. Here comes Peerless Price. Watch this. And watch when he goes across. There is absolutely no one with him. That's McKinnon, the linebacker. Forget about that. No one is near this guy.
Now, what really helps it out is the play-action fake. It forces the linebackers to jump up and creates the void between the backers and the backs.
Flutie, 7 out of 9 so far. Play action again. Flutie to Reed at the sideline at the 20. Let's check in with Solomon Wilcox.
Yeah, Mike, Arizona is already battling injuries, but this may be the worst of all. Cornerback Aeneas Williams has a right toe sprain. Right now he's getting it retaped, but I'm told his return is questionable, Mike.
And that is the guy, Solomon, who is just the heart and soul of this defense. He works as hard as anybody in football.
And he was also supposed to be the guy who was going to shadow Eric Moulds tonight.
Chavis is in at the corner. Fake the reverse. And dropped. ESPN Sunday Night Football continues next week as Brad Johnson and the Washington Redskins look to keep their playoff hopes alive as they take on Jerry Rice and the San Francisco 49ers. Join us right after prime time at 8:15 Eastern. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive networks for prime time NFL football. Second and 10. Flutie goes to the shotgun. Blitz coming. Thurman Thomas in the flat. Turned a loss of a couple into a gain of a couple.
Well, they got Thurman Thomas. Thomas Burke is number 60. He is the third guy in their depth chart at the defensive end position. He's starting type. But this is what Thurman Thomas does better than most people in the National Football League. Not only catching the ball out of the backfield, but to set up a screen. When you talk about Thurman Thomas, he sets up a screen better than anyone. Look at this. The lineman let him go through. Now he gets outside. He's on Burke. He almost makes him miss. I mean, he does, but he held him long enough for his other defensive guys to get into Thurman's face.
3rd and 8. Blitz. Flutie just got it out to Moulds. Oh, Flutie knew he was going to be drilled and threw a strike anyway.
What focus and what toughness to stand in there as the blitz comes flying in. There it is, look. See him come flying in real hard. Reinhardt comes in and darn near takes him apart. Winds up getting the ball out to Moulds, who makes the play.
1st and goal, Buffalo. Jonathan Linton. Just shy of the goal line, still fighting touchdown. Jonathan Linton would not give up.
You know what? I'd rather say continuous effort than second effort, because if you say second effort, it's like the first effort he quit.
You know, you're right.
Watch his legs. They don't stop. Number 35 is Jonathan Linton. The blocking, he stopped at the 1-yard line, you think? Watch his legs. His legs don't stop, and then he gets the ball across the goal line. Touchdown. That was Simeon Rice, number 97, on him, and couldn't hold him.
Heck of an effort by the second-year man out of North Carolina. who gets his 3rd touchdown run of the season. And the Bills pouring it on here in the first quarter, up 14-0. Another impressive march. This one 80 yards. Linton finished it off, and it's 14-0. What was the Cardinals' worst nightmare? To fall behind early just like this.
They don't score early in games, and they haven't been very efficient throwing the ball, so they're going to have to do something here.
They only average 14.3 points a game. Bates. To the 20. It's the NHL on ESPN2 this Tuesday at 9 Eastern. Chris Pronger and the St. Louis Blues head to the desert to take on Jeremy Rennick and the Phoenix Coyotes. ESPN, ESPN2, and ABC, your official networks of the National Hockey League.
Mike, you said they average 14.3. They got 0.3 to play with right now.
That's right.
As an offense.
You going to give him the 14?
No. Not
I
yet.
don't think the Bills are going to give it to him either. Jake Plummer's going to have to go get it right now. Wants to throw on first down. Out in the flat, Hardy, the tight end, fights for extra yardage and gets 5. The Arizona Cardinals working on a streak. This would be 14 games that they have not scored an offensive touchdown in the first quarter.
Look at Jake Plummer on that last throw, Joe. He had all the time to throw the football and was still high.
It was, and during warm-ups, he did the same thing. Every throw he made was high and away. He's got to settle down a little bit.
Play action by Plummer. This one is high. They wanted a flag on this. Rob Moore thought he was interfered with by Ken Urban.
I don't think he got that with a ladder. Kenny Urban on Rob Moore. Rob Moore, 85, going to the outside. Look where the ball is. That ball is up and away.
Everyone is sailing on it.
Joe, do you see anything mechanically so far?
Yeah, first of all, I know his thumb is still bothering him because he told me it was. So he doesn't really have the grip on the ball that he has had, and he doesn't have the control throwing the ball, which is very obvious.
3rd and 5. Plummer got this one to Sanders, and Sanders has a first down at the 31. Antoine Winfield made the tackle. And that's the end of the first quarter. Buffalo on top early, 14-0 at Arizona. Listen, ESPN. In the desert, no less. Doug Flutie has been counted out more times than George Chiavallo, but somehow he always seems to find a way to come back. You live in Buffalo. You've seen the newspaper, listen to the radio. They're just ripping them up.
Yeah, but that's why he can come back. See, Doug Flutie, 2 things. He does not read the newspaper, nor does he listen to the radio or watch television. And with that, he finds his own confidence.
Well, you just got all kinds of snow all over you. And the other part of that is Doug's a heck of a football player.
Yes,
the one thing nobody's ever given him credit for is the ability to make plays. That's what he is. He's a playmaker.
Morrell with the carry, a hard run up to the 40. Well, I know there are a lot of teams in the National Football League that would love to have Doug Flutie as their quarterback.
I'll tell you who is number 1 that would love to have him. The Buffalo Bills. They've got him, and they're not letting him go. They can say all the things you want to say about him on the radio stations and the newspapers, and this happens to a lot of quarterbacks in towns. There aren't that many great or good starting quarterbacks in the National Football League, and they're not about to let either one of these guys go, Rob Johnson being the other one.
Yeah, but you know, Mike, Doug Flutie is the kind of a guy a lot of guys had a shot at, and nobody wanted him. Every team in the National Football League for years had a shot at him. Nobody wanted him. And I would still say that general managers today would still get stuck in their stereotype and say, we don't want a guy that small. We want the bigger guy.
Well, the director of pro scouting for the Buffalo Bills, A.J. Smith, wanted him.
And got him.
You bet he did.
And it's up to Jake Plummer now on the other side to get his offense going. He's got it a little bit started now. They're in a little bit of a rhythm. He's got to keep it going.
They've had almost no running game this year. Morrell has really struggled. So without Michael Pittman, who gave him a little bit of a spark. Moore almost intercepted by Schultz. The free safety came over and had a shot at it.
And Schultz gets an unbelievable jump on this. Even after the play action, look at how far he runs to make a play on the ball. This is incredible. He is right in the middle. He is going to take off and run this way with the proper angle and everything. There's a play action fake. He hardly freezes. Now, as the ball goes, look at him go up. Watch him get to the intersection. Goes up, try and reach it. No reason why he shouldn't have had that. You wonder why the Bills have so few interceptions, because they can't hold on to the ball.
Well, you tell about a great play, and then you knock him at the end.
Adrian Morrell to the 46. And Thomas Smith up from the corner to make a tackle.
He had the catch.
You're right.
There is Pittman, who aggravated a turf toe injury. He's the only back that has any kind of a rushing average this year in limited action. 64 carries, averages 4.5. Morrell is under 3. Bates under 2.5. Makovica, the fullback, is at 0. 7 carries, no yards.
Michael, you'd be better off on offense and defense just talking about the guys that are healthy, because there are too many that are hurt.
Morrell, the lowest average in the NFL with at least 150 carries. Plummer throws a strike. That'll be a first down at the Buffalo 42. Rob Moore.
You know why this is such an important play? Ken Irvin does a terrific job staying close, but this is very important to Jake, because Jake Plummer told me on Friday, he said, I'm going to have to throw the ball in places, and Rob and Frank are going to have to make catches because their defense plays so tight. Now, here's a case where a guy has said, I'm going to have to do something, and it turned out for him. That's got to give him some confidence.
Draw play, Morrell. Took a wicked shot from Schultz at the end of that run. Ouch.
You know what? You talk about Lynch down in Tampa Bay, and about guys that can hit in the National Football League at safety. Well, this guy, 24.
He's on my list.
Yeah, he is. He's on everybody's Christmas list. Now, Pat Williams, number 93, he gets double teamed right here. Watch this. Back to the inside. Actually, when he gets blocked, Aaron Graham just slips him by himself.
Mario Bates comes in on 2nd and 3. He's the deep man in the eye. Bates will get the carry. Takes it outside, first down in a Buffalo 31. And the Cardinals finally get it going on offense.
Well, the one thing you've got to like about this drive with the Cardinals, they're down 14 points, and they're not getting away from their offense. They're still staying with it, even though they're only averaging 14.3 points per game.
And this really comes from studying the Raider tapes and the Giant tapes, two teams that Mark Trestman felt like his offense did a good job against. And the way they had success was running right at them, and that's what they're doing with a very patchwork offensive line.
Boy, it is. Those guys deserve a lot of credit. They're switched all over the place. Morrell, that time hitting the back, or Bates. That time he was hitting the backfield. Sean Price and Pat Williams, number 93, came up to cut him down.
They were talking about Pat Williams. Pat Williams, they talk about when he comes in the game, the whole defense is uplifted. I'm not saying anything about Ted Washington, but watch him. He just beats the center and the guard and gets into the backfield. They really have no chance. Number 67 was Chris Dishman, who also missed a block. But look at Pat Williams, the penetration in the backfield for a loss of about a half a yard. Timeout.
And Plummer can't get Sanders where he wants him and has to burn a timeout. Arizona's first of the first half. 10:24 to go in the half. Buffalo still up by 14. Cardinals driving down 14-0 second quarter.
Cardinals been running the ball pretty well. Could be a good chance for some type of play action.
Play action to Bates. Plummer under pressure, throws underneath. Sanders fighting for extra yardage, but he'll be a couple shy of a first down. Holisek and Marcellus Wiley hustling downfield.
That's what running the football can do for you. Now, Jake is really on skates back there because he's getting a lot of pressure from different guys, but the fact that you can run the football a little bit, it buys you just enough time to get receivers open. Little play action, Not a lot of time. Set, let it go. Does a good job of avoiding the pressure. Manages to get the completion. He almost throws more accurately on 1 foot sometimes than he does with 2.
That guy pressure was Pat Williams again.
This will be the 13th play of the drive. Plummer with time. Throws for more, incomplete, and there's the flag. Irvin grabbed him and let him go just before the ball got there, and Irvin comes up lame.
Pass interference. 27. Defense. First down.
Well, Kenny Irvin, Wade Phillips said this ball's over his head. That's Rob Moore. He's grabbing him. And actually, that's more holding than it is pass interference. But look where this ball is. Can he catch it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he can. He could come
If he's
back.
not being held.
Probably. You know, this is 5 first downs for this team. This is more first downs in this drive, 5 of them, than it had in the last 3 quarters.
1st and goal. Bates. Touchdown. Fought off a tackle by Henry Jones at the 1.
Paul, you talk about Jonathan Linton keeping his feet moving on the last Buffalo touchdown. Watch Mario Bates. Starts to the right, cuts back, gets hit, but doesn't stop. He keeps the drive going. They just don't get clean shots at him, and you expect the backs to run over defensive backs, and Jake's got to feel so thrilled.
Nice drive, and it has him back in the ball game. Jackie for the point after. An 80-yard drive took nearly 5.5 minutes. All 3 scores tonight, long drives by the offense. To simultaneously experience what? Kevin Williams from the 15 on a short kick. Near the 30.
Number 82, Kevin Williams on the
All right, let's go
return.
live to the internet with Enhanced TV, and there is our score for the year, 132-90. Paul says, thank goodness for trivia. Let's go to Joe Theismann. What is your play pick?
My play pick for this 1st and 10 by the Buffalo Bills.
Pick it.
I'm thinking.
I can tell.
Oh, boy, you don't hurt yourself.
I want to see the formation. Give me a chance.
No.
Why not?
Okay, go ahead.
Huh?
All right, yeah, you can.
I'd say he gets the ball to Thurman. It's going to be a running play to Thurman.
Woohoo, I got him, boys.
Flutie with time, now scrambles. Picks up 4.
You know how dangerous he is and how much these people really respect Doug Flutie? He froze. Simeon Rice has got a shot at him. And he's standing back in the backfield. And you talk about, before, Joe, about the defensive ends coming upfield. Watch the left of your screen. Number 97 is Simeon Rice. He's going to appear now. Watch Flutie freeze him. He froze him right in his tracks and then moves up the field.
And he's also so much faster than people give him credit for. I mean, he can really, really run.
Linton comes back in a tailback. Flutie, short set, scrambling again. Throws on the run, and it's incomplete. All right, you've got a 3rd down coming, Paul. What's your pick?
Let me see the formation.
That's fine.
Who said that?
It's either.
Hey.
I can do it. Paul, we know you do better with trivia, but tonight it goes back to the game. Good luck.
You know, this happens to be my pick, so knock it off. I got to concentrate here.
I understand there are 2 people rooting for you now.
Yep. Guy on Guam. One of them. All right, he's going to throw it. He's going to throw the ball to Thurman Thomas.
Nah, going to throw it to a tight end.
Oh, man.
Well, at least Thurman's in there.
That's not his pick.
Blitz coming.
He's going to run with it.
Flutie has the 1st down and more out to the 44-yard line. Paul, congratulations. Your record is still spotless.
Well, he didn't gain anything.
Yeah, but I didn't lose any this time either. The thing about Flutie is Vince Tobin wanted his people to be able to rush lanes. What happens is they collapse the pocket, and when they do that, there's no contain on Doug. And once he gets outside, if you're going to blitz, you got to have contain. Bring people up the middle, but there's got to be somebody outside responsible for keeping them in the pocket.
3 carries, 24 yards. There's the passing numbers. 10 out of 14. Flutie to throw again, and this one to Price in the Cardinal territory at the 49. Let's check in with Solomon Wilcott. Solomon.
Yeah, Mike, you may notice wide receiver Andre Reed is not on the field. That's because he's been taken into the locker room for an examination. I'm told it's a real problem. We'll have to get you more information. But cornerback Ken Irvin, he is also out of the game. He's been taken to the locker room for x-rays on his left foot. He may not return. I'm told his return is questionable.
All right, thanks, Solomon. That's bad news for the Buffalo Bills. Linton, big hole. Linton, big fighting for extra yards to the 38. Boy, he is.
Not only a big hole, but a big back and tough to bring down.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. They had McKinnon was on him 57. He supposedly made the initial stop. But at the end of it, watch how many people it takes to actually bring him down. Here's Linton, 35. 57 is McKinnon. He has him by himself. There's one guy. 2, 3, 4, 5, and now 6. Thank you.
Linton nearly 240 pounds. Play action by Flutie. Has time, and that one's intercepted. Picked off by Tommy Bennett, the strong safety. Now say he stepped out of bounds.
Tommy Bennett broke on this ball before the receiver ever got to the spot that Doug Flutie wanted. Doug Flutie anticipated where Bennett was going to be. Bennett anticipated where the ball was going to wind up. Tommy Bennett did a terrific job on that play. There he is, right in the middle. He's going to see the receiver coming. He's going to intersect and pick it off right at the intersection. Watch when he starts to break on the ball. Flutie's jumping. Here comes, breaking on it. Gets in front of Price. Winds up with a big INT.
Tommy Bennett is always going to remember where he came from. He keeps a bright yellow jacket at his house, a reminder of his days as a security guard on the graveyard shift. You don't think he's happy to be in the NFL? Plummer wants it all in a hurry. Contact, no flag. Rob Moore was tied up with Antoine Winfield. Bumped him twice.
Boy, is this a smart play. Now, first of all, Kenny Irvin is out. They go bring in the rookie, Antoine Winfield, at the corner. They take Rob Moore, their best receiver, and they just run him down the field. Antoine Winfield, look at this coverage. The ball is thrown to the outside, and he has Kurt Schultz on his inside. That's good coverage.
And that's a nice call by the official. Rob was just losing his footing.
Adrian Morrell will get the call. Wrapped up by Ted Washington. And when he grabs you, you're not going any further.
Well, that's what Aaron Graham told us yesterday. He is the center on this football team. He says the one thing about Ted Washington, he is so quick. If you don't stay with him and hold him, watch him. He's going to get rid of Graham and make the play in the hole.
I think that's the thing that is so impressive. He stands people up, and then he has the quickness to be able to shed him and go get the go make the tackle.
Great player, man.
His
Great
78th
player.
tackle of the season. He always makes a lot of stops. Plummer wants a screen. Morrell has it. Too many defenders, not enough blockers. He's out to the 45.
Well, if you're going to run a screen, I don't think you run to the screen and then throw the ball. Because what happens when you're running to the screen, you're bringing all the defensive people with you.
Sometimes the pressure makes you go places you really don't want to go, Paul.
Yeah, but I think he got out of that one quicker than he had to. He could have still stayed back there. Maybe he couldn't find Morrell, and that's why he rolled out.
There is a marker down. Illegal receiver downfield against Arizona.
If I'm Buffalo, I decline this and just take the ball and let him punt. I wouldn't give him another chance.
ineligible receiver downfield, the right tackle. The penalties decline, 4th down.
It's a good move by Wade. Get the football in your hands. Don't give him another chance.
You're not going to miss Clement being downfield. He's 6'8", 355. Not going to miss him anywhere, for that matter. Player, a high punt to Kevin Williams at the 12. Surrounded, gives ground. Got a big block at the corner. Smith was downfield to throw a whale of a block for him, and he got a 12-yard return after a punt of 43. It's a 7-point game. Jr., the Bills president, his general manager John Butler is not here tonight. Back home with his family in Buffalo. His wife Allison and her father Jim had a serious car accident on Friday. They are in intensive care, and our best wishes go out to their family for a speedy recovery. Linton on the carry. He'll get a couple.
John Butler's got a terrific guy in Allison. Our best go to you, John, and your family.
You bet.
You know, this guy is never, ever, John Butler has never missed a game. Any place he's ever been, this is the first time.
Well, understandable that he would miss this one. The numbers, the Bills with 100 more yards passing.
And this is the formation that has been so good to the Bills so far in this game. Spreading 5 people out.
Cardinals come with a blitz. Flutie unloads in a hurry, molds to the 32 and forced out of bounds.
Boy, is he a rock. I mean, that is one big wide receiver. He's so strong, he's so powerful that when a defensive back hits him, it barely dents him. And I sort of don't understand. Buffalo has sort of reverted back to trying to run the football. When they spread the field out, they've been extremely successful. And I would think that they could use that formation a bit more.
Third, call it a yard from the 33.
They better move it now. They're down inside of 6 seconds.
Flutie to throw for Molds. Tried to spin around and make the catch. Good coverage by Tom Knight. And Molds could not make the circus act work.
It's a heck of a job by Knight. You got Molds one-on-one. He doesn't bump, gets a hand on him within the 5, and then the throw is outside. Doug Flutie really rushed the throw up the field. Didn't put it exactly where he wanted to give Eric a chance to make a play on the ball. Cardinal defense doing its job now. They've settled in. Get the ball back in their offense's hands. See if they've got that confidence built up.
It's been the strength of their ball club all year long. Moore to punt to Cody. Line drive, returnable kick. Cody with a seam. To the 46-yard line, a step away from breaking it all the way.
Well, when
Chris Moore, the punter, had to make the saving tackle.
But when you kick a ball that low and you don't give your guys a chance to get within 5 yards, you better be there to make the tackle, Chris Moore.
Northwest Airlines aerial cam high above Sun Devil Stadium for ESPN's Sunday Night Football. 14-7 Bills, the Cardinals with great field position at the Buffalo 46. Bates. They have set up that reverse a couple of times. They'll run it eventually. It is the 25th birthday for Jake Plummer tonight. Really a year he would much rather forget. He has been injured since midway through the preseason. And I think the biggest thing that we talked about in the last couple of days, he hasn't been able to practice, Joe.
Well, it hurts him. Plus, and you know, when you're injured, Mike, and this is the first time he has felt anything like that. He was Superman, and now he's found out he's not invincible. But he's fighting through it and doing a much better job. And when you mention practice, you have to be able to go out and practice throws and learn the people. I watched practice on Friday. He made a couple of throws to players, and he commented to me, he says, if Mario Bates is coming out of the backfield, I can't throw the ball that hard. Those are the things you learn in practice, and those are the things that he's missed. Now you start to see this offense get into a rhythm. He's been back about 3 weeks.
And they really expected an upgrade in his performance tonight exactly because of that. Bates stopped just shy of the 30, a native son who went to college here at Arizona State.
One other thing, though, we were in Kansas City talking to Elvis Grbac. Elvis Grbac said, after the 9th week, I feel comfortable. Right. He said, you know, here's a guy that when he was out, Jake Plummer, and it's not making excuses because he won't for himself, but for 6 weeks, he couldn't even throw the ball when he was hurt. And you've got to practice in order to be proficient in what you do.
Adrian Morrell comes back in on 2nd and 6. Plummer under pressure. Sanders. Now that was the kind of throw we got used to seeing from Jake Plummer last year.
And I think everybody did. And what it does, it also gives Mark Trestman, his coach, an opportunity to call plays and give him a chance to get cut loose.
We have reached the 2-minute warning officially at 1:57. Cardinals down by a touchdown, but driving. Chris Berman in the Motorola halftime report. Fastest 3 minutes in television. Congratulations to the Colts. They win the AFC East today, and will try to sort out the NFL playoff picture.
I'll tell you one thing about the Colts after the game. The whole team went out and shook hands with the fans.
Wasn't it great?
It was terrific, man.
When you run the football, you got a chance to do some things with it.
Morrell, flea flicker, back to Plummer. Incomplete. Flag down. Moore was covered by Winfield.
But he missed Frank Sanders, who was so incredibly wide open. Jake is going to absolutely be very upset with himself. But this is the area that he struggled in against the Redskins last week. He had players wide open, and he missed them.
Pass interference. Defense. First down.
All right, here's the interference. Rob Moore, Antonio Winfield, number 26. Well, I would call holding before I'd call interference.
Yeah, but, I mean, the big thing was the opportunity to get the touchdown.
Well, if the ball's in the air, holding is interference.
That's right. Thank you.
I want you to see this last play, and this is really what's plagued Jake Plummer more than anything. I mean, you see Mark Trestman, the coordinator, makes the call. You watch Frank Sanders go right across here. You'll see Rob Moore come in and go deep. Watch how wide open Frank Sanders is. Stop right there if we can. Take a look at that. Right on the 10-yard line from about the hash mark over. Look at that. There isn't a player anywhere near him.
Well, that's because the umpire picked off Thomas Smith.
Doesn't matter. You still, to me, when you see Rob Moore doesn't have outside position on the corner, you've got to go to your secondary receiver. Mark Trestman has done a terrific job of getting opportunities for Jake a place to throw the ball. He just hasn't quite been able to get comfortable and find a guy that's been unbelievably wide open.
Only been 2 flags against Buffalo, both huge pass interference calls. Bates. Inside the 2, Kurt Schultz led the charge to stand him up.
I like Mario Bates' courage, but trying to move Ted Washington into the end zone, it's impossible to do that. Kurt Schultz, number 24, gets in. Ted Washington is number 92. Watch this. Graham is the center. He holds him straight up. Look at this. Boom. He hits. Schultz is there. You're not moving that guy.
At that point, it's over, isn't it?
That's right. Take a knee.
And now Plummer wants another timeout. The play clock was winding down.
Number 2.
Wide open.
It sure is now. 2nd and goal. Bates dives. Touchdown. The Arizona Cardinals spotted Buffalo 14, pending the extra point. They've come back to tie.
And they've done the one thing that I didn't think they would be able to do, and that's run the football fairly effective against that Buffalo defense.
Jackie for the point after. And we're tied.
Well, you know, I talked to you about Ted Washington before. Watch what he does to the center, Graham.
Kevin Williams from the 13. Shy of the 30. It's in the backfield on 1st and 10. Flutie almost threw the shovel pass. Then he keeps it and forced out of bounds. Hit at the sideline. Tommy Bennett took him out.
Well, you know, I'm going to tell you, he's going to shovel pass it to Thurman Thomas. Thurman Thomas is covered.
Throw it underhand is considered a pass, and it would have been a penalty.
Nobody ever said he wasn't really bright. Under pressure, Price can't get there.
Out of bounds.
3rd and 6. Blitz coming. Flutie with time. Remersma has the first down. To the 45. Tom Knight made the tackle. Timeout left. Flutie quickly to Moles. In the Cardinal territory at the 49. You know who's done a great job so far? John Fina, the left tackle for the Bills. We have not called Simeon Rice's name for harassing Flutie.
And John Fina's been doing this by himself.
Flutie intended for Remersma. 3rd and 4. Oh, Flutie almost picked by Aeneas Williams. Cut in front of Moles. If he makes the catch, he's gone.
Number 85.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 34 of the offensive team. After the play was over, will penalize 15 yards, and the down counts. 4th down.
Apparently Thurman threw his helmet.
Yeah.
Take a look at the job Aeneas Williams does on Eric Moles. He's in the slot. Moles trying to pick up the first down. Williams just breaks. And actually, I'll tell you, Moles does a good job. He grabs his right arm and doesn't let him pick it off. But that's part of the study habits of Aeneas Williams. He knows what the routes look like.
Sometimes he's in the facility at 5:30 in the morning looking at tape. And, Joe, you're right. He knew what that route was. He broke on it immediately.
I lead professional football. I think it's amazing.
Well, the fans don't like the decision to take a knee, but they have to like the fact that the Cardinals spotted the Bills 14 points and have come back to tie it. That's the end of the first half. The score, the Bills 14, the Cardinals 14. Now let's join Chris Berman. They're locked in a duel with the Cardinals at 14-14.
You know, I think they missed some great opportunities in that first half, Joe. They got away from the thing that really sets up everything for them. Go 5 wide and throw it.
They start the game. They spread out the Cardinals. The Cardinals really can't figure out how to match up the way they want to handle it. And Doug goes out and starts very well. Now all of a sudden you see he's settled back down 14 completions in 23 attempts. This is just the first half for Doug Flutie. Starts well in the beginning, scrambles around, hits Andre Reed out on the sidelines, comes back, slides, makes a play, as he always does with his legs. Again, moving around, make a play, dump it off to Thurman. He gives you a lot of different looks, and he's accurate and sharp with the ball with the touchdown to Moles. I mean, I think Doug has done typically what Doug Flutie does in a football game. Makes plays, keeps things alive.
Cardinals will get the ball first. Bates at the 15. Across the 30 to the 32. Let's go to Solomon Wilcott. Solly?
Yeah, Mike, Vince Tobin says that despite the fact that his offensive line is banged up and racked with injuries, he said that he's not surprised with the fact that they are able to run the ball. He said that the backup offensive linemen are more healthy than the starters. On the other side, he said he fully expects Simeon Rice to win his one-on-one matchup with offensive tackle John Fina. Said that's something Simeon Rice has to get done here in the second half, is put pressure on Doug Flutie, Mike.
All right, Solomon, and Rice is the only starter on the defensive line who is in there for Arizona because of injury. Adrian Morrell. A couple up to the 34-yard line where Gabe Northern covers him. Take a look at the first half stats, and Buffalo dominating. 214 total yards to 109. What's not included there, the two big interference calls that got the Cardinals in first and goal situations.
And most of those statistics really have occurred in just one quarter, because the first quarter, the Cardinals couldn't get anything started.
Had 6 plays in the first quarter.
Plummer scrambles and sacked back at the 33. Phil Hansen, the unsung other defensive end. When you're a defensive end on the same line as Bruce Smith, you don't get talked about a lot.
And Ted Washington goes to the Pro Bowl, so they don't even mention you. You're like third in line. But Phil Hansen just stayed at home. He did the job. You know, you were talking about the defense of Arizona. Only Simeon Rice is starter. Look at this offensive line. They have 2 guys that have played the same position. Aaron Graham, the center, and Anthony Clement, who's a rookie, playing at right tackle.
They've done a sensational job so far. Plummer throws too high, and it's dropped. Darryl Porter had a shot and an interception and couldn't hold it.
And Rob Moore just sort of picks the ball up and looks back at Jake Plummer in total disbelief as to where the ball was going. These guys have not been able to get on the same page all year. And tonight, almost every pass that Jake throws winds up being a little bit high. That one was high and inside.
Player to kick to Kevin Williams. Angles it toward the far sideline, and Williams will make a fair catch on the run at the 24. Good punt, 43 yards, and no return. Doug Flutie will have it on offense when we come back to the desert.
Check out our live in.
Back into no. You don't get to pick again.
Oh, darn.
Flutie and the offense start from the 25. Linton.
Doug Flutie has thrown the ball fairly effectively in this game, but most of it has been outside. You see the pass chart here? Worked down the middle of the field 7 times with 4 completions, but most of the throws have been under 15 yards and outside. Take a look at the bottom number. Outside, 10 of 16 for 122 yards. Now, that's more dictated by Arizona's defense. They're keeping someone in the middle of the field, and they're not going to let him get the ball down to Riemersma, his tight end.
Linton on the delay. To the 33, that'll bring up a 3rd and 2. McKinnon on the stop.
See, I think this is good offense. This is what this team needs to do. They can't just sit there, and I said at the beginning of this game, and have Doug Flutie throw the ball 40 times and expect to win. They've got to set up some kind of run, because Flutie, play action, rolling out is where he's really effective.
And Joe Pendry, the offensive coordinator, really wanted to start this way, but when he saw the success he had spreading the formation, he stayed with what went with it for him. Excuse me.
3rd and 2. Linton on the toss. Cuts it back and has the first down out to the 39. Nice block by Sam Gash, the fullback, and that's what he does so beautifully.
Sam Gash, number 33. He's going to block Simeon Rice, number 97. Watch Sam Gash. He goes out. Excuse me, he doesn't block Rice. Rice runs himself out of it. Sam Gash just gets an excellent block downfield. And we asked him yesterday, we asked Thurman, he says, how many plays does Sam Gash have? And he says, there's only one running play for Sam Gash.
Haven't been called in 2 years.
No, they haven't called it yet.
Sam might as well change his number to 60. Thurman Thomas. Flutie nearly didn't get him the handoff. And Thurman out to the 45.
Carl Mock, the offensive line coach. Come on, get out there.
I'm telling you, I swear, when you see him through the entire ball game, it looks like he's just smelling something bad over there.
He's got that. He's got that look, doesn't he?
No, he does. And he's a great offensive line coach. Look at this.
Looks like a line coach, doesn't he? If you haven't seen Andre Reed in a while, that's because he is out with a rib contusion. Will not return to this ball game. Thurman He missed 11 games this year, hurt on the first play of the season opener, had a bruised liver and a bruised kidney. And they've really missed him for 11 games.
And he thought when he came back last week for the first time in those 11 games that they'd sort of ease him in, maybe get a dozen plays. He wound up with 35. Now he gets the game plan for this week, and now we've seen him run the football. He's in on third down because Antoine Smith is unable to play.
Jonathan Linton back in on 1st and 10 from midfield. Linton. This is what the Bills told us they wanted to do at the beginning of the game, but at the beginning of the game, they came out chucking it. Right now, they're ramming it right down Arizona's throat.
There's center Jerry Ostrowski, number 60. And Dusty Ziegler to his right, number 61. Look at the block. They just passed the guy down. Ziegler passes him down to Ostrowski, and then goes out and gets another guy. This team can run the football, and running the football is an attitude.
They're ranked 9th in the NFL in rushing coming into the game. Flutie changing the play. Linton straight up the middle and a solid tackle by Rob Fredrickson.
Tackle by Rob Fredrickson.
Paul, you talked about Buffalo being able to run. Historically, they have always been able to run, ranking higher in rushing yards than passing for 12 straight years. And that's even going back to Kelly.
That's what I'm thinking. When you think of that red gun that Jim Kelly ran and how effective they were running the football, even though they spread people out.
Here comes the blitz. And they may have gotten there early, or someone moved on the offensive line. We'll check it for you.
Well, Aeneas Williams wanted to chuck Eric Moles at the line of scrimmage. And they banged a little early.
Neutral zone infraction. Right defensive end. Still second down.
They call it Simeon Rice, but I mean at 35, Aeneas Rice on 80 Moles on the outside. Watch these two guys. Now they say Simeon Rice. There's the infraction.
No, I think it was Aeneas.
Yeah. Simeon Rice is basically taking himself out of this. He's helping Fina all night long, playing way outside.
Not only that, he's played in a two-point stance. There he is again up top of your screen. He's playing in a two-point stance. He is not the kind of a defender who should play in a two-point stance. He's 265, 270. He's much better served with his hand on the ground. Here, watch the stance. Look at this. That's the easiest target in the world to block.
Well, look who blocks him.
Yeah, Gas just owns him. Fina, he's not even getting Fina's sweat. He's not even getting sweaty blocking him. I mean, Simeon has really not been effective and should never get in a two-point stance.
Spotted at the 25, 1st and 10. Blitz coming. Linton. Lassiter makes the tackle as he reached the 18-yard line. Rashad Swinger had him around the ankles.
Joe, you were talking about Fina. Just you look where Simeon Rice lines up. He's 97, Fina's 70, and all Fina does is just turn out. Fina's already out there, and he's doing a great job. Look at this. John Fina's feet are moving perfectly. Simeon Rice has the same move straight up the field. Fina said, if you want to run that move, that's fine. You just stay to the outside, young man.
9 running plays on this drive, 52 yards. Thurman dancing around, not much there. They need to reach the 15 for a first down. He is shy of it.
Paul, let me add one thing on Simeon Rice. And there's Joe Pendry to the right, Wade Phillips. On Simeon Rice, when you have a Doug Flutie as a quarterback, he is being told, get up the field all the time. And I think it's really taken him out of his game. He's been forced to play mostly contained. And it doesn't serve him not to be an active part of making plays. He hasn't been close all night.
I agree with you totally. Let this guy go for the quarterback. He's quick enough to go.
3rd and 1. McDermott. First down, Buffalo.
You know what, folks? No pass plays in this drive. And
no, as you said, this is an attitude check right here.
Well, they started at the 25-yard line, and they're now inside the 15 to the 13.
Yeah, but if you want to run a pass play down here, you've got Riemersma back. Flutie has a lot of confidence in him. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to pound, but boy, you know those linebackers will be coming up to try and make the tackle.
Linton is back in as the tailback. Linton gets the call. Shy of the 11, Thomas Burke closed down from the defensive end spot in a hurry.
Joe, I think they went in the locker room. There's a big blackboard down there. They wrote, "We are going to run the football the second half."
Period. And I guess I guarantee you, Karl Mock's the guy that wrote it. He sort of snuck in early, put it up there.
Well, when he fights for his guys like he does to run the football, and every offensive lineman loves to run the football, you better block or you're coming out of there.
2nd and 8. Blitz coming. Flutie in trouble. And they got it. The sack for Patrick Sapp after Simeon Rice ran him to the sideline.
I said Simeon Rice is fast enough.
That was a loss of 17. Flutie with a strike down to the 16-yard line. That time he hit Williams in stride.
I think one of the things that Mock was upset with that last play is, Joe, the two running backs, Jonathan Linton and Sam Gash, both ran by Simeon Rice. Neither one of them blocked him.
But Gash is out in the pass route. I agree with that one. I mean, there's no question, but the fullback is out in the flat. As they wind up, at least they're going to have an opportunity to kick the field goal.
Steve Christie trying to snap out of a slump. He's missed 5 of his last 7. And puts it right down the middle. The Bills, who had led at one point by 14, now lead by 3. For Christmas, Paul, you have a cactus that lights up, don't you? Bates at the 8. To the 28. Antoine Winfield downfield for the tackle. I guess not. Got a timeout on the field. 3:55 to go third.
さあこの後です。ジェイク・プラマー、ここは落ち着いて3点しか差がないんで1本取れば十分に逆転ですからね。さあここは落ち着いた。
Santa Claus without his suit with 3:56 to go third quarter.
And worn out his sweater under his arms.
Both pits are blown out.
Paul, is that who you're sitting next to on the plane on the way home?
Morrell to the 33. That's Bill Bidwell, the Cardinals owner and president. And they have a lot of government officials right now working to help him get a new stadium out here in the desert.
Put together a task force to try and get a complex and a stadium.
This, of course, the home of Arizona State University. Morrell. Check in with Solomon Wilcott. Solly?
Yeah, Mike, in a last-ditch effort to build the Cardinals a new stadium and attract a future Super Bowl to the area, Governor Jane Hull, well, she's asked a group of prominent business and civic leaders to serve on a task force to study funding options for a new stadium. Now, the challenge facing the task force is to find financing and how it would actually minimize the impact on the Arizona citizens. Now, the task force will submit a recommendation in February of next year, and they're trying to put this together because if it doesn't happen, there's a good chance that the Cardinal may not be able to stay here in Arizona.
All right, Solomon. Plummer goes out to Sanders. Sanders to the 39-yard line, should have a first down. And they really need a dome out here. If you have ever been to Phoenix in August during preseason or September or even October, you just can't sit on a metal seat in the sun. You can't.
Yeah, but you can play some great golf.
No, but I tell you,
you got a lot of 30 to spread on you.
I tell you, these guys are upset. Rob Moore told me, he said, we'd rather play games in September in August and September out here. We never get opponents out here then because they enjoy the heat.
Plummer, I think he threw that one away as Winfield was all over Sanders.
This defense makes it so hard to work to the wide receivers because they play the corners up and the safeties back, and you really have to work to get people open. They just, look, the corners are up here, the safeties are going to fly, and unless you can get somebody down the middle of the football field, that's the only place that this defense is vulnerable. These guys have played together a long time. Their linebackers can all run very well, and they're very coordinated.
Winfield is in there because Irvin suffered a foot injury in the first half. Morrell, with nowhere to go, nears the 40. Phil Hansen and Sam Cowart combined on the tackle.
Well, you know, we have not mentioned Bruce Smith's name, and they're kind of going away from him. But on that last play, Bruce Smith made a move down inside that forced Morrell to not run up the middle, but to run outside. And he didn't make the play. He didn't have to. Oh, the eye for Bruce Smith.
3rd and 9 for Jake Plummer. Plummer in trouble and tries to throw to David Boston, the rookie who was peeling back to give him a target. Sean Moran was putting the heat on Plummer.
Talk about the pressure from Bruce Smith. Here he comes up the field. Can't block him. Now, this is supposed to be a screen, but Bruce manages to make sure that Jake isn't very comfortable.
Plummer has only passed for 54 yards. He's hit 8 of 16, and they need him to step up here in the second half. Williams signals fair catch and makes it at the 15, but there are markers down on the play. .45-yard punt, no return. Ineligible man downfield.
Kick it again.
Ineligible member of the kicking team downfield, number 40, will penalize 5 yards and re-kick.
He knew.
Player will have to do it again. Williams on the run. He gets it out to the 35. That's a net gain of 20 yards on the penalty. Doug Flutie with the upper hand over Jake Plummer, who has only thrown for 54 yards tonight.
But, Mike, the most important thing is no interceptions. And I think sometimes it shows that if a quarterback just doesn't make mistakes, your team can stay in a game.
See if Buffalo comes up running the way they did on the last drive. They do with Linton. Breaks a couple of tackles and picks up 5.
Jonathan Linton, you know, and I think the reason he's running so well tonight and everything's being effective for him is because he was the guy at practice all week. Antoine Smith was sat down. They said, we're going to go with Jonathan Linton and Thurman Thomas in that backfield. And Jonathan Linton, if you look at him, he's running. I mean, that 6 yards he picked up on his own.
Here's Antoine Smith out with the turf toe. It will be 2nd and 5. Linton again. And for the second straight run, danced in the hole and then burst forward, picked up 4 this time. That'll make it 3rd and a yard from the 45, but the quarter will run out first. The Bills trying to go to 9 and 5. The Cardinals trying to get back to 500. End of the 3rd quarter. Buffalo by 3 over Arizona. Over the Cardinals. Buffalo football, 3rd and a yard from the 45. Thurman Thomas is the running back. He'll get the call and has the first down.
Simeon Rice had him right in the short hairs. And Thurman did a terrific job of putting the spin move on, trying to pick up the first down. Simeon is going to come in and have a shot at him. Comes off low. Kevin Williams is going to block. Look, outside, nope. Look at Thurman spin and try and pick up that extra yardage. Had him.
Did not get the greatest spot in the world out of that
Got it
either.
by the nose, though.
Oh, I said first down.
You did. You were right. Absolutely right. I don't think that play called for Kevin Williams to block Simeon Rice.
Don't think so. You're right.
The third quarter, the Bills totally dominating offensively. 10 minutes and 18 seconds of possession and 64 yards to only 12 for the Cardinals. Jonathan Linton is the new tailback. Cardinals show blitz again. Flag is down. Flutie throws. It's complete. And I think the Cardinals were in the neutral zone.
They were. And they'll take the penalty. I think it was Tommy Bennett, who was the strong safety, came up and got him at the line of scrimmage and just got too far.
By winding up in 1st down and 5, they accept the penalty. They're right back into another run-run situation.
You bet.
Offside, 28, defense. Still first down.
Coming up when we're done here, Sports Center. Dan Patrick and Rich Eisen bring you up on the day in sports. Peyton's place in the playoffs, our NFL Blitz, the Week 15 breakdown, and Vince Carter is our Sunday conversation. 1st and 5 for Buffalo, just in the Cardinal territory. Linton cuts it outside, cuts it back, and is close to another first down at the 44.
This isn't good for Vince Tobin's defense either. They're not real big up front. And you have to be concerned. The size of Buffalo's offensive line matched up against the size of Arizona's defensive line is not good for Arizona.
61, Dusty Ziegler. He's going to block on Drake. Jerry Drake, 76. Look at this. He just takes him right down the line of scrimmage. That's just an outstanding block. Also got him by the jersey. But it's not holding unless you get caught.
Right. They have only passed twice in the second half. They had run 16 times. Flutie to throw here. Drills it short. The gain of about 4 to Peerless Price.
プライスですね、今のはね。
あ、そうだったんですか。あ、ほんと。ルーキーです。ルーキーですね。ピアレスプライス。彼やパス。
The Fiesta Bowl with Tennessee. Thurman keeping his shoulders low inside the 30 to the 29.
You talk about a guy that reads the defense. Thurman Thomas. I mean, they called this play. Flutie turns around and talks to him. Thurman looked at the defense. There was a big gap on the left-hand side of the offense, right-hand side of the defense. This play was designed to go right. Watch where Thurman goes. He's not going right. Watch him come back to the inside. An outstanding block by Reuben Brown, number 79, in the hole, and then Thurman cuts it back for the first down.
The 91 MVP of the NFL still has it. Linton. And they are just eating up the Cardinals defense as well as the clock.
And having a chance to talk to Thurman last night. Last week when he was introduced, he was the last player introduced on the offense. He said he felt like he was 25 years old again. The ovation, the fans that the fans gave him just made him feel so special.
He's coming back, Joe. I mean, and I don't think there's any, because he was out this whole year.
He wants to. Now, if it's a lot of money, and if he said if management doesn't want him back, then he'll retire. He's not going to go anyplace else. I think they should bring him back.
Coming back.
Linton goes out as a flanker to the top of your screen. Flutie against the blitz. And that one is picked off by Tom Knight. Tom Knight back across the 30-yard line.
Peerless Price stopped on the route. He stopped coming across the middle. What a great play by Knight. He played the ball. Peerless stops.
Tom Knight's second interception of the season.
2クォーターのね、推進劇もインターセプトからね、
そうでした。
始まってますからね。
Got a great ball game with 10 minutes and 56 seconds to go. The Bills leading the Cardinals by 3, 17 to 14. Welcome back to Arizona, everybody. The announcement of the Pro Bowl team will come next week. The voting ends on Tuesday. Last year, here were the quarterbacks. Testaverde, Flutie, and Elway for the AFC. Chandler, Cunningham, and Young for the NFC. Going to have 6 new quarterbacks.
I think there's a real good chance. I think we're going to have a lot of young players, a lot of new guys. Marvin Harrison, Edwin James, certainly Javon Curse. This could be. This one could have more new names than any we've seen in a long time.
Tony Bracken's, a lot of Jacksonville defensive players.
Right. And it's also going to change at the tight end position. Tony Gonzalez at Kansas City. I mean, if he doesn't make it, something's really wrong. You're going to see it at almost every single position, new people in the Pro Bowl, and that is really unusual.
And Jacksonville has never put a defensive player in the Pro Bowl
till this year.
Too high for the tight end Hardy. If nothing else, Jake Plummer has made his mark not only in college but in the NFL as one of those guys to light it up in the fourth quarter and bring his team from behind.
He doesn't need to light it up right now. What he needs to do is get some first downs and give his defense a chance to catch their breath. Just get some first downs and get going.
Second and 10. Plummer runs for his life and throws it away. Well, the way the defense came through there, I thought there was a screen set up, but I never saw it.
Well, you're talking about Pat Williams again, number 93, a guy we talked about in the first half. And this guy, they say he lights it up when he comes on the field. Well, he splits a double team here. Watch this, 93. Graham is the center. The guard misses him.
Dishman doesn't help.
Dishman doesn't help, and here he comes up the field. This guy can move it.
Jake Plummer must wonder what's going on here. 3rd and 10. This half, he's hit only 1 of 6 passes. Buffalo comes with a 4-man rush. Plummer with time. Contact. No flag. Sanders, good coverage by Darryl Porter.
Darryl Porter was going for the ball, and that was incidental contact. There was I don't think the ball could have been caught anyway. And he's limping.
You see Sanders on an out and up. There's really nowhere to go. Buffalo has everybody covered. Ball winds up being thrown out of bounds.
3 and out for the Cardinals. Williams, fair catch, makes it at the 22. A good punt, 44 yards and no return. Flutie will come back on the field trying to protect the 3-point lead.
ここは気合を入れて
せっかくのねインターセプターですけど淡白なね、オフェンスで終わってしまいましたね。
そうなんですよ、反対にね、せっかくリズムは流れが変わるなんて大きなこと言ってます。
Right now, the Cardinals have to find an answer on defense. They need a stop against a Buffalo team that has run the ball down their throat in the second half. Linton through 24.
Well, you know, the Buffalo Bills, we talked about at the beginning, and the Bills came out in the first quarter and passed. They have to run the football in order to win. And look at their running backs, Jonathan Linton. I mean, these guys have been hard-nosed tonight. Jonathan Linton, that's a touchdown. His continuous effort there. Here's Jonathan Linton again up the middle, number 35. And then finally, you're going to see Thurman Thomas, his run up the middle. Reads the blocks. These guys have done their job.
By half, the Cardinals with only 10 yards rushing in the second half. The Bills, 89. Thurman Thomas adds to their total of first down out to the 34. Vince Tobin can see it slipping away from his ball club.
Well, the problem we talked about is you just don't have a lot of big people on the defense. The offensive line sitting down, looking at film, trying to figure out what's going on. A bunch of new guys in there, so you lack the communication. Defensively, that defensive line is just out there all day. Thomas Burke and the rest of the guys have been on the field the whole second half.
They expected to have Wadsworth, Swan, Smith, and Rice this year, which could have been a dominant defensive line. 3 of them have been hurt. Thomas lowers his head. Swinger and Wadsworth, who's in there now, make the tackle.
Let me just say this. If Buffalo continues to run this type of an offense and don't take some shots down the field to try and get a score and get a big play, they're going to leave Arizona in this thing long enough that they could let this game get away from them. When you don't have the likes of an Eric Swan putting pressure on Flutie, you may as well take a shot down the field. Try and get a big play.
2nd and 6. Blitz coming. Flutie on the run to Remersma. Nifty move for a tight end and into Cardinal territory.
Well, the reason I'm laughing is here's Remersma. He's 6'5" and 265 pounds. And when he catches the ball, you watch the moves he has. Now he thinks he's a wide receiver. Here comes Flutie on a bootleg out to the outside. Remersma catch it. Watch this. What's his feet? But you know the amazing thing about it, only took him like 4 steps to slow down.
I would qualify him as nifty. Those were rather nifty moves.
Former high school quarterback. He was even a quarterback at Michigan as a redshirt freshman. And Tom Knight is the injured player for the Arizona Cardinals. We'll check on his condition when we come back to Tempe.
そうですね。
はい。
他の選手もそこそこの活躍してるんですが、彼がいると本当に安心感があります。
そうですね。ブロックもいいですしね。
取ってからも強いです。
Dan Patrick and Rich Eisen standing by for SportsCenter. They'll have the NFL report an ugly incident with the Browns and an official. Peyton Manning, is he something special? And the Colts saluted their fans after a win today. Raptors and the Lakers, Carter against Kobe. We still have 8:03 to go here in Tempe. Flutie pumps and goes down. There's also a flag down. Simeon Rice, if he's credited with that sack, will have 14.5 for the year.
You may give it to him because he's the one that fell into Doug.
He may have also been tackled. The reason he did fall into Doug Flutie.
That time he was down in a defensive lineman stance.
60, offense. It's declined. 2nd down.
Jerry Ostrowski called for the hold. They decline it and take the sack. And Simeon Rice now 14.5.
And he really has been the only guy on this defense, the defensive line in particular, that has been able to stay healthy enough to play, and to post those kind of numbers is pretty special.
Cardinals show blitz again. Thurman Thomas trying to get to the outside, breaks the tackle inside the 45.
That was Thomas Burke, number 60, the defensive end that Thurman Thomas ran through. Thurman Thomas is such a great player, means so much to the Buffalo Bills. And when you watch this, look at Burke. He's number 60, the defensive end. Watch what Thurman does. Look at the power in Thurman's legs. They just don't stop. And he turns it back up inside. He picks up about 8 yards on the play.
Averaging better than 4 yards a carry tonight. 53 yards total.
And you got to be really conscious of Doug Flutie taking off and trying to run in this situation.
Blitz again. Flutie throws complete to Moles. They have a 1st down. Aeneas Williams took him out at the 35.
They move Simeon Rice around. Look at this time. There's this center, Ostrowski and Ziegler. They tried to bring him up the middle to give him a chance.
Doug Flutie knows exactly where he wants to go through. There's a nice throwing lane. And that's really what offensive linemen are taught to do. And I don't care how tall a quarterback is or short. Every quarterback needs lanes to throw through.
Unless you're 6'9", you can't throw over those guys.
Throw down at them.
That's right. Linton on the toss. He'll lose yardage on this one. Let's go to Solomon Wilcott. Solomon?
Well, guys, there's more numbers to add to the Cardinals' mash unit. Cornerback Tom Knight was kicked in his right shin. Then he rolled his right ankle. I was told that he's questionable right now. They're taping it up. It appears that he may be able to go back into the ball game, Mike.
And they'll really need him, the starting corner opposite Aeneas Williams.
This football team, the Cardinals, they should rent a wing at the local hospital and just put all their guys in it.
Vince Tobin's guys have played hard. I mean, the offense really hasn't had a chance to support this defense. They really played one quarter. The second quarter is the only thing that this offense has been able to generate any.
And the Bills take a timeout as the play clock was winding down. They'll face 2nd and 13 when we come back. Provided by the Southwest Airlines Aerial Cam, high above Sun Devil Stadium for ESPN Sunday Night Football. Glad you could join us. The Bills up by 3 and driving. 2nd and 13. Flutie to Remersma. Fredrickson nails him at the 30. Tom Knight, who had the leg retaped, is back in the Cardinal defensive lineup.
I think when you play offense the way the Bills have played it here in the second half, you really put a lot of pressure on the receivers and the quarterback. And if you don't take a shot down the field, you don't get the big play. And if you make one mistake, I don't care how long you've had the ball, it defeats the purpose.
3rd and 5. Flutie lofts it for Moles.
That's what I'm talking about. Take your shots.
A gain of 26. It will be 1st and goal.
Aeneas Williams has got to cover Eric Moles all over the field. This time he just takes off. Excellent throw by Doug Flutie. To the outside, allow Eric Moles to adjust to it. Watch the adjustment he makes. Over the right shoulder. Terrific job.
1st and goal, Buffalo. Jonathan Linton, only a yard. Of course, this game, a lot more impact than just for the Buffalo Bills. A win tonight would eliminate the Jets and San Diego and New England. So people in those 3 cities hoping against hope that the Cardinals can hold here.
Well, the New England started out so well and just came crashing down.
Boy, they went down in a hurry. They couldn't run the football.
Well, and we've seen Buffalo control this entire second half by running the football.
2nd and goal. Linton tries to cut it outside and will lose a half yard.
All he has to do is stay inside. Sam Gash gets a block. Now they're calling timeout, the Cardinals. But Jonathan Linton trying to outrun the defense to the outside. He doesn't. He's got 33 in front of him, Sam Gash. And all he has to do is cut it up. That's the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. I learned that one. Look at the block. Sam Gash is blocking inside. When he does block, and that's Mark Maddox, number 53. Look at Mark.
Has he been on your show?
Yeah. I tell you, he's one of the funniest men I've ever met in my lifetime.
So Arizona used a timeout. Otherwise, Buffalo is just going to drain that clock.
Well, the way Vince Tobin's got this thing figured to go, you stop him here, you make him kick the extra point. Field goal, excuse me. You get your timeout back with the 2-minute warning, so the clock will be stopped 3 times basically for you.
Get the feeling of Carl Mock called the offensive plays they've never passed.
I can assure you, 1 a game. Or, no, 1.5.
1.5.
Whether you needed to or not.
3rd and goal.
Move Doug Flutie.
Flutie over the middle. Remersma, touchdown. A perfect strike from Flutie to his favorite target, Jay Remersma.
He loves to get to his big tight end down around the goal line. Remersma is right there, 2nd one in, Thurman outside. Good little move on Chavis. Ball goes up, touchdown.
You said passing lanes, Joe. Look at this lane. That thing is wide open in the middle. He has a clear shot at number 85, Remersma. It's a touchdown.
Christie for the point after. And it's 24-14. The Bills extend their lead to 10 with only 3:01 left. Hurry, Bates. To the 35. Nice return. Antoine Winfield with the tackle. We told you how anemic the Cardinals offense was a week ago in the second half against Washington. They had a measly 33 yards. That looks like a juggernaut compared to this. 12 plays, 10 on the ground, 2 in the air. That's 12 yards in a half.
But part of that is they run 11 last week. They've run 12. I mean, unless you have the ball and you've got to get some third downs converted, you're never going to run enough plays.
Plummer, room to run, throws instead, and Sanders dropped it. That will cut down on your yardage. ESPN Sunday Night Football continues next week as Brad Johnson and the Washington Redskins look to keep their playoff hopes alive as they take on Jerry Rice and the San Francisco 49ers. Join us right after prime time at 8:15 Eastern. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive networks for prime time NFL football. Plummer has missed his last 6. That one is to Rob Moore up at the 45-yard line, and now they're saying that's incomplete. So Plummer is 8 of 21 on the night. I don't think those last 2 were his fault, though. He put them right there.
Well, here's Rob Moore. That ball hits him. No, you got to put the ball away, and he does not have it secured.
He never has. Your offensive line struggles with protection. Your quarterback's rushing. Now your quarterback's putting the ball in the hands of the receivers, and the receivers can't hold on. Everybody says, what's wrong with the offense? Is it the plays? No. It's the execution of the plays that's the problem.
Plummer on 3rd and 10. Rifles this one, caught for a first down. The rookie Boston up at the 48-yard line. His first catch on the night. Cardinals in the hurry up. Plummer down the middle to Sanders. And all at once the offense has come alive.
Amazing thing is, you know,
Plummer has been on target 4 in a row. The last 2 have been caught. Plummer trying to keep it going. Threw into triple coverage that time. Sanders was bracketed.
I know it's late in the game, but now the offensive line, they're doing something. You know, they've blocked very well for pass protection.
Yeah, because they're
the
only
whole game.
Well, they're only running that. Well, it's been a little bit of a struggle for Jake in the second half. He's had a lot of pressure put on him, but the Bills are only rushing 3, sometimes 4, and they're able to know where they're coming from so they can block them.
Plummer steps up. More! Touchdown! People are going to ask, where has this been the entire game?
Well, they finally went down the field with the football. They've kept the game close. We talked about them trying to keep it close into the 4th quarter. The offense, I think, might have left their defense out on the field just a little too long. But at least Vince Tobin's offense has a breath of fresh air to it.
Jackie for the point after. And the lead has been cut to a field goal.
Rob Moore working the middle of the football field. There he comes off. Sanders goes outside. Little push inside. And that nice job of laying out and going to get the ball. Jake has time to throw. This is what he can do when he has some time and knows where he wants to go.
And again, you know, this all starts from protection. You say they know where they're coming from, but these guys stepped up and did a pretty good job and gave him a lane and time to throw the football.
On that series, they did. Look at how he cradles the ball and doesn't ever let it get to the ground.
Moore with his 5th touchdown catch of the year.
You know what's amazing about that whole thing? They didn't use any of their timeouts. They still have 2.
They can stop it twice, which means Buffalo would need 1 first down to salt it away.
I don't think you onside kick here.
Oh, you got to.
No, I think you kick it off. You use your timeouts. You have to put it on the defense to stop them. You don't want to give Buffalo a short field if you don't get it. At least give yourself a chance by kicking it deep and making them go the distance. So if they do punt, you have a shorter distance to try for the field goal.
Now, after saying all that, they're going to onside kick.
Well, if they kick it deep and stop them, use their timeouts, they'd get the ball back with 45 or 50 seconds left.
And they have 2 kickers out there, Scott Player, the punter, and Chris Jackie.
And they will go with the onside kick. Taken by the Bills. Henry Jones, touchdown.
I didn't like it from the beginning, and I like it a lot less now.
But whether you like it or not, they onside kick.
Yep.
What a tough way to see it disappear after you've clawed your way back within 3.
Yeah, but you talk about a heads-up play by Henry Jones. Henry Jones just stepped up, caught the ball, and took off. Watch this.
He doesn't give it a chance.
Never gives it a chance to hit the ground. See that? You blame the guys on the kickoff team going down the field. Number 53 is Mark Maddox, who's a linebacker, should have made the play. Didn't.
37-yard kickoff return for Henry Jones.
Paul, do you think Henry Jones will get on your show now? You didn't want him all year.
It's not that I didn't want him. I didn't have time for him.
You going to have time for him coming up here?
I don't know. But this had a great play. Look at this. I mean, he was gone. He could have run to Tucson.
There's Bruce DeHaven, special teams coach. That's the way you go get it. Coach Phillips, he's thrilled. This is what we needed to do. With the 2 timeouts left, if there was 1 timeout, I would have agreed with it. But with the 2 timeouts left, and if you can get the ball back with 45 seconds, you know, it took you 3 pass plays to get a touchdown. You don't need that for a shot at a field goal and a possible shot at overtime and a tie.
You're also supposed to cover on kickoff teams.
Mark Fredrickson, our statistician, pointing out a couple of real oddities today. An onside kick return for a touchdown, and a division leader, the Buccaneers, losing by 45 points. That is a little strange.
It's a strange year.
Oh, well, it's been a strange year since the opening week.
And all of a sudden you have a guy by the name of Tyrone Wheatley who just couldn't play in New York and looks all world in Oakland.
And got a big new contract out of him. Congratulations to him. Bates. Across the 30. Down again by 10. Plummer through the hands of Boston.
He's made 5 really good throws. Problem is, only 2 of them have been caught.
Well, David Boston could smell Kurt Schultz coming up. He knew he was going to get whacked.
Ralph Wilson on the verge of seeing his team go 9-5. And in pretty good playoff position. Plummer too long for Moore. Covered well by Smith. Got some help from Porter coming over from the safety.
You know, you're in a situation, Joe, where you really can't just like go for the first downs because you're going to lose the clock. You've got to go down the field.
You've got to go. You're right, Paul. If you try and dump it off, that's exactly what Buffalo would want them to do. You tackle them, let the clock run down, make them use up their timeouts. They need a big completion here at least to try and use up a timeout.
Plummer under pressure. The snake scrambles. Cody makes the catch.
That is going to be an illegal touch by a wide receiver. He went out of bounds, came back, caught the ball, and That's the simple thing about it.
He can't be the first guy.
I know that.
Hey, that sounded good.
Echo in here.
Yeah. The first guy to touch the ball.
I know that.
You knew that.
That's what this discussion with Johnny Greer is. The hat tells you he was out of bounds. That's why the side judge's not wearing it.
Illegal touching of the pass. The receiver went out of bounds, came back in, and was the first to touch the pass. The down count is 4th down. The pass is incomplete.
Watch as he comes back. See, he works towards the sidelines there. His left foot steps out of bounds. Matt Cody tries to get in. Would have been a completion, but
Oh, he's got to be much more aware of where he is than that.
Yeah, and that's a lot of the inexperience on this Cardinal team. They're a very young football team, and they really lack on-field leadership. I think this football team will be something special next year.
I'd say right now, if they stay healthy.
4th and 10, and Plummer goes down.
Marcellus Wiley.
Wiley gets the sack. They turn it over on downs, and that is going to drop the Arizona Cardinals to 6 and 8.
Ted Cottrell's defense has done a terrific job again. Wade Phillips said, hey, look, our defense is playing as well as anybody. We think if we can get up 17 points on somebody, nobody can beat us.
Well, the turning point to me seemed to be when Buffalo came out at the start of the 3rd quarter and said, guys, no surprises, no tricks. We're going to run it right down your throat.
And the couple times they did put the ball in the air, wound up getting picked off a few times, which created problems.
Yeah, but this team also knows, the Buffalo Bills know that if they're going to continue on and get to the playoffs and win in the playoffs, they have to run the football.
Flutie will take a knee, and they'll force Arizona to spend a timeout. Here is the updated wild card standings in the AFC. Tennessee, Buffalo, and Miami holding the top 3 spots. You're wondering about the tie. Buffalo beat the Dolphins twice, so they have a tiebreaker edge if it comes down to that. Seattle, which is in free fall, now in 4th. In the NFC, Green Bay and Minnesota at 7 and 6, fighting for those last 2 spots. The Giants, Dallas, and Carolina now all 7 and 7. Mathematically, Arizona is still in it at 6 and 8.
And how about,
but only mathematically.
How about the job Baltimore has done? Brian Billick and that group of his, they've been coming on like barnstormers.
If they had gotten off to just a little bit better start.
One more win possibly for Baltimore. The way they're playing and the way their defense is playing, they could be up that ladder quite a bit.
And every team in the NFC East lost except Philadelphia. They're not in it.
Not a very good day for that division.
Not. It's really not.
And Andy Reid's got that team, I think, pointed in the right direction, too. They're playing better. They're playing tougher.
Certainly has a heck of a defense. Arizona has spent its last time out with 1:10 to go. Nice to have Thurman Thomas back on the field after missing 11 games. He certainly contributed tonight.
There's Eric Bowles saying, you know, we ran the ball entirely too much.
Throw a little more to me, would you?
Throw some more to me.
Ian Peerless talking things over. Of course,
Bruce thought he would get a sack tonight.
See, I think now you're getting into the time of year for the Buffalo Bills. They know the playoffs are there. They have the veteran leadership that the Arizona Cardinals don't. I don't think the Cardinals need to grow up a little bit more, get some leadership out there.
Flutie will take a knee again, and now Arizona cannot stop the clock.
Of course, we've got Christmas to look forward to, guys, next week.
Merry Christmas to all our viewers
and to all our families.
Since we won't be with them.
Rob, that's right, Robin, my wife, and our children.
We will be with you the day after Christmas from San Francisco.
In a very important game for the Redskins, because they'll finish with Miami.
I'm staying home this Christmas.
No, well, be sure to tune in, will you?
Yeah. No, you're not. We're taking you with us.
No. I'll be home.
No, if you don't go, we don't go.
I'm going.
Then we'll be fired as a group. And because of the ABC playoff schedule, we do not have a game on January 2nd. This will be our final game of the season. Washington at San Francisco. In fact, it will be the final Sunday night game of the century. How's that?
Thank you, Mr. Mark Payton, our director, with a little trivia. No, you're not. You're not going to cry.
Yeah, I will.
What are you doing for New Year's?
Cry.
We get to do another game in the new millennium, though.
Yeah, we do.
We can do
January the 8th.
Do a wild card game on ABC. And boy, we've been trying to figure out where that might be, and we still don't know.
Doesn't work, does it?
We still have no idea.
The Bills will not risk a field goal attempt. They're just going to run this fourth down play. And Flutie's going to bowl, throws to the end zone, and incomplete.
Boy, there's one you don't forget.
Well, you know what he did? He went back to run the clock out. He just held it, and just threw the ball away.
The old Dan Marino play at the end of the...
He threw that one away, but I tell you what, if he completes that ball, if they throw for a touchdown, there can be some bad blood forever between these clubs.
Well, you got to have a great memory. You know why?
Why?
Because you only play once every 10 years.
That's true.
I don't care how long it would take.
No.
They couldn't wait till the next opportunity.
This will be well, maybe not the last play. They may have a couple, but Merry Christmas, everybody.
Same to you.
Same to you. Same to you.
And the family.
Merry Christmas, Paul.
Everyone here in the booth, what a great job. They decorated our booth tonight. It really looked a lot like Easter.
Hey, Solly, Merry Christmas to you.
Solly, man.
14 seconds to go. Plummer throws incomplete, intended for Sanders. It's got to be the worst portion of any game for a quarterback.
It is.
You know, there's nothing you can do.
Been there.
But you got to try it anyway.
What you do, and the thing is there are holes to throw into. It's just that you manage yourself and say, well, geez, why couldn't I have gotten them before? And the opportunity doesn't present itself. There's Mark Trestman, the offensive coordinator, trying to get plays for Jake. Jake Plummer has learned this year how to play with pain. He's learned how to play hurt. And I think he will be a terrific quarterback, but he's still got a lot of learning to do in this game.
Plummer airs this one out, and it's intercepted, picked off by Donovan Greer, who touches the toes at the sideline, and that will end the ball game. Our final score, the Bills 31, the Cardinals 21. Coming up next, Sports Center, Dan Patrick and Rich Eisen, all the latest news, scores, and highlights. For Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, Solomon Wilcots, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from Tempe.